across.
How do we feel about Beans on Tax's podcast last week? Tax, what up?
This Beans and Meek shit just won't go away. It resurfaces every week.
Let me say
stronger
this,
than
man.
it did before.
I think that was a great. I can't even call it an interview because Tax just let Beans just
Rock.
Which
just
was
let
great.
which was dope. You know
Tax
what I
did
mean?
an amazing job with that whole thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I had people the day before when the reports came out that Beans got knocked out. Everybody calling me, "Yo, Beans looking crazy." Da, da, da. I'm like, listen, man, anybody could get punched in the face. You know what I mean? But everything that Beans said in that podcast summed up everything I was saying. Like, you know what I mean? It's just it's just something that happened. It shouldn't have happened, and those dudes know. They know the repercussions of that. They know, what's coming behind that if certain things are not dealt with in a orderly fashion. But I think that interview is, that podcast is definitely one of Tax's best podcasts.
Yeah.
Ever.
Might have been one of the best of this whole year.
Yeah, I agree.
With. That might be the Solange album of podcasts.
Just because Beans was saying, and I think with that, I know it's too early to say it, but I think out of that the tide is gonna start turning a little bit. I think that people are going to start paying more homage to rappers that would, early 2000s, late 90s. Like, it's just certain dudes that I think don't get the respect or the credit they deserve. And we're not that far removed from when they was hot. You know what I mean? And I think Beans is one of those dudes that I think every rapper knows how good Beans can rap and the music that he put out. But a lot of these new cats, I don't think they really know exactly how dope Beans is.
I was torn during that interview because I feel like Beans was saying everything that all of us from our generation know as far as him as a rapper and him
as a person
in his street past.
Yeah.
And he was informing kids that I think don't care. So it kind of like didn't matter. It was amazing. But the people he was talking to don't care. It was kind of like a catch-22 because he kept telling all the
people he
kids,
was talking to was directly the ones involved from Philly.
I know that. I'm
and
just
trust
saying
me, they got the
audience.
message.
Well,
They definitely
it's
got
a
the
sad
message.
situation because all of them are from the same neighborhood and they all
Right.
know each other.
Right.
So they all know where each other are. It's different than most beefs, which I don't think some people notice.
Right.
But back to that point, I think when he was talking to the internet generation, it was kind of like going on deaf ears. Because we already knew everything about him. Beans didn't need to go up and do that for us to know.
I can't really say that because I saw Tax retweeting a lot of comments and it was a lot in there where people were saying, yo, I didn't know a lot about Beans' music, but now I'm listening to his shit like, yo, homie is nice. Like,
which is great to see.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, that was dope.
Young people.
A friend of mine, Corey Towns, who's from Philly, I saw him going back and forth with younger people saying it doesn't matter. We only support Meek. No one listens to Beans anymore. You don't listen to anyone in the block listening to Beans. We only listen to Meek. And I was like,
Beans was
that's
saying
crazy.
some real shit though.
Oh, he was dropping jewels.
Oh man, like when he was saying you don't have what was that song he named?
Feel It in the Air.
Yeah, like when he was
What's
saying
Your Life Like?
What's Your Life Like? It was just like you start really thinking about all those records, and I'm like, that's the truth
As
though.
soon as he said those two records, I made that same face.
Yeah,
but
like
then I said, wait, that's kind of not fair. Look at those two records. How many people have a Feel It in the Air and What's Your Life Like?
No, but I'm just saying that's what he's basically saying. That like, dog, until you do that, you can't never disrespect me. Like you can't. I'm sorry. And I understood that because it's like, dog, like I'm, you're from the city. I'm rooting for you, but it's like until you do that, you can't disrespect. And that's why he said, really on the low, you want to be me. You want the respect that I have in the streets. You want that, but I earned that.
I agree with you, and I agree with Rory. Like I agree with everything you're saying, but I also felt like I was sitting there feeling everything he was saying, but every time he would pause to talk to them other niggas and the way he would, the younger internet generation and the way he would have to reiterate just certain shit that probably didn't need to be reiterated. Yeah, they don't care. The kids, they don't. Why do we talk to the fucking kids?
And that's the problem.
I was talking to Fab, right, recently, and I was talking to him about, I wanted him to get on my podcast, and he said, what we gonna talk about? And I said, well, I wanted you and I to kick it about a term called new legends, right? And I this Beans thing brings me to that because I feel like Beans is exactly that person that I'm talking about. Like, we all know the legends of hip hop. Rakim, Nas, fucking whole fucking, you know, you can name them all. Fucking
Right.
KRS, we can name all of them, but you know who the legends are. Slick Rick, we can go on and on. Cool G Rap, right? But the newer legends, like the people that are like a Beans, like a Fab, the people that ushered it from the golden era, from like Mace.
The early,
I would
to
say
mid
he's
2000s.
a new legend. Like the same way the NBA has a top 50, you got to change it.
Yeah.
Eventually, like so Beans would be exactly that for me. So everything he was saying was bringing me to that. Like Beans is very well accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah.
In his career.
His catalog, he has a lot of good music.
He named them 2 records, and I immediately named about 5 or 6 directly after that.
Yeah.
Like Beans is on classic records.
Yeah. Yeah. The Becoming, The Reason, those albums are incredible.
That's
and
where
he did it next to a legend. Like he was next to Jay-Z. He was in Jay's shadow, if you will,
Right.
and was still doing that.
But that's what made it so dope, because he was himself in that shadow. And it was kind of like, you know, you looking at Hove and he like, shit, but his man though. And Beans was just getting off on every record. It was just like, yo, he's so raw, he's so gritty, but he's rapping though.
I think I never looked at Beans like he was in Hove's shadow. I understand what y'all saying. I never looked at
Not
him
in his shadow, but
like
you know, that was his artist.
I felt like
Hove.
Hove fell in love with Beans the same way we all fell in love with Beans. Anytime you heard Beans, Reservoir Dogs,
Right.
he stood out.
Right.
He just felt like Beans.
Yeah.
Fucking the shit, the fucking up the club 12 a.m. on my way to the.
Yeah.
It was Beans. He gave you Beans. Shit on the 112 remix. He gave you Beans.
Right.
It was like always that hard
Yeah.
Philly nigga
Right.
on everything.
You know, we spoke about in the random but not random. We spoke on this podcast rappers that have the best first album and sophomore album. We left Beans off
Beans is
that.
in that list.
The truth and
Definitely.
the reason we left off. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now, mad that we forgot that.
I always bring up my truth. I don't know how we forgot that in that.
I know.
What was that conversation again? Did we ever talk about that in the podcast?
I think we did. It was a while ago though.
Oh yeah, it was.
I remember
long time
arguing on
ago.
the deck about it, but I think we did then come on the podcast and talk about it.
Let me tell you something. Back to what I said a while ago. If Game is doing all of this for attention, I don't care, and
working.
it's working. It's gonna work because just that fast, Game's album comes out like next week or some shit.
Does he have any records besides the disses out?
Who cares?
No, I'm just asking.
I don't know. it matters none. The plan has worked. We have managed to talk about Game and Game tearing a nigga up for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's impressive to me. For niggas to know some shit is coming and it still be effective.
Well, speaking of Meek, he kind of woke Meek up on that Hot 97 freestyle. Did you get a chance to listen
I
to
have
it yet?
yet to listen to it.
Oh, you should.
I am. I'm going to.
Yeah, Meek, he was there.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
like
definitely
that.
was a lot more inspired than we've heard as of yet after the whole Drake thing. He got to stop screaming DC4 coming soon. I don't know how many times you could say coming soon.
He got off on that freestyle. He sounded like Meek again. But the thing was, it was never a thing that Meek couldn't rap though. It was just he just wasn't rapping.
That's what I'm saying.
But he definitely sounded, you know.
I haven't heard it. I do
In
want
your
to hear
words,
it.
he sounded inspired.
Inspired.
Yeah.
Good. A lot of people are sounding inspired nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep, they are. I'm taking credit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, back to me taking credit. So they pulled French's album off of iTunes altogether. The pre-order link.
So the album just doesn't exist.
There's no word, but they pulled the pre-order link off iTunes altogether. So I guess the pushback is indefinite now.
Well, I mean, it was
That was
it was
poorly
definitely
handled
indefinite.
by L.A. Reid, by the way.
It was all because of samples. They said. I mean, I know because of samples has always been the biggest excuse.
Yeah, that's probably
running.
the biggest
but
excuse,
I'm
but-
saying, what are they saying? Still, they still can't clear the samples.
No, I don't think anybody's saying that anymore because they were saying that, and then L.A. came out and said, "No, we need more buzz." L.A. said that,
Okay.
and then that's when the new October date came, and now you just pull the pre-order link all together with no word. That's poorly handled by L.A. Reid. I just want to say that, but. So Meek freestyle, do we think Game is responding to that? Of course he is, right?
I don't know. I feel like he would have already. To be honest with you, Game's a quick responder. That came out last week. Game wouldn't let the weekend pass. It's fucking Tuesday.
Yeah,
Game don't work that way.
I will say this: Game, he be ready for that type of shit, boy. He gonna rap. If he ain't gonna do nothing else, he gonna rap with you.
That is true.
I'll give Game that.
Yeah, I had said when everyone was going nuts over the Meek and Game shit, I was like, Game been doing this for 10 years. Overly doing this for 10 years. Fucking beef with G-Unit and gave them 1,500 bars when they only gave him like 16.
Right.
He does this very
wanna rap.
oftenly.
I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people aren't really informed about Game and his past.
Which we may have
I
spoke
enjoyed
about
you and
this.
Game going at it. I enjoyed that.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That
was that about 10 years ago?
Shit.
No, that was
06?
more. No,
05?
that was 05.
11 years.
God damn.
That was dope, though.
That was hard.
Yeah, that was dope.
We should do it again.
I was gonna say.
We should do it again. Yeah, that was
He
dope.
said your name on the Meek shit, so go at it, bro.
That would be pretty fun, man. Only
Oh.
because Game is gonna respond.
Speaking of people
Game with-
responding from
he's
your
with the
era,
shits.
Dragon responded.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Now, can you find that, please? Can we have to
can
play
pull it-
this?
I can pull it up.
Maul,
What-
what's up with your man?
I know you were wondering when Dragon was going to respond to the Game and Meek this, but he he did.
Listen, man.
Why is Dragon?
I don't know, man.
What the fuck, Dragon?
I'm just, and I like drag, man, but
Me
I
too.
just think there's certain. I just think rappers just be so ready to just get into shit, and it's just like, come on, man. I don't. You know what's funny? I don't even know what Game said. Like, what did he say about drag?
We don't know.
That's no. Who cares? I don't know either,
Yeah,
man.
like I didn't catch the bar. Like
I missed it too.
and he's talking like, yeah, you disrespect, and I'm like, yo, what did he
Was
say
this
about drag?
How old is Drag? Does anybody know?
Drag
Probably a
got to be
little
at
older
least
than you.
40,
I'll give him 39. I don't know if he's quite 40 yet.
39, 40, something like that.
Yeah, I got him around there too. And who made Drag angry?
I got to go back and listen to the game. I didn't catch the bar that he said about drag. I can't remember.
I didn't either. Nor did I see anyone else catch it.
Drag, just chill, man. Just chill out. What do people see? What do retired rappers do?
Nah, he want respect on his name, man.
I already respect Drag's name.
He talking about Game. Like, don't mention his name unless you put some respect on that.
A lot of people have gotten dragged into all of this shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, did they really get dragged into it?
Drag
Or is it
on.
just
Bars, never
you
mind.
just being sensitive to listening closely and then you want to just ready to jump?
I don't know. I know fucking this shit involves all types of people, and I'm not even getting into all that fucking.
Yeah.
I'm just not. Yeah, yikes. What else is fun happening?